Hello and welcome to the next edition of PNSQ Chronicles, the best webcast you are going to hear for the Pacific Northwest Software Quality Conference, mainly because it's the only one that we do. My name is Michael Larsen.
Hello, I am Srilu Balla.
And we are happy to invite to our show today Mr. Kevin Pyles.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Fantastic.
Hi, Kevin.
So we are excited to have you with us. Of course, we are doing this with all of our keynote speakers, invited speakers, and many of our track speakers as well. Basically, you respond to us and say that you want to be part of the show, we're going to have you on. And you said, yeah, I'm game. Let's play. You are giving a talk and you are giving a workshop. So I want to focus on the talk first. And this is all about being an AI ML SDET. Say that 10 times fast. And it sounds like a really futuristic title, but what are we talking about? What does that actually mean? I mean, we know what AI and ML are, and most of us software development engineer and test, let's be precise here. Does that addition of AI ML make that title different, unique, something else?
Again, thanks for having me on here. And yes, this is a very catchy title, AI MLS, that why would I go with that? I've actually just wanted to be a QA engineer. There's so many different titles for QA engineer, and I'll actually share a bunch of those titles in the presentation. And now it's so exciting because I can put AI ML in front of my title and it sounds super cool. But the question is, okay, great. So you changed your title. What does that actually mean? Who cares, right? Other than just putting it down on paper.
I care.
Well, I'll tell you what, I cared a lot as well when I was able to change my title. But the reality is, it does mean something. And it means a lot nowadays if you're able to do something with the AI and the ML, and if you're able to test AI and ML. It means both, hopefully, right? And in this case, it really does mean that on a day-to-day basis, you should be working with and testing AI and ML. And of course, in the presentation, you have to come. We'll talk more details about how that changes because it does change. Again, it's not just a title change. The world has changed and we have to change with it.
I completely agree, Kevin. Right now, I'm working on projects, not one project, projects that are creating GPTs. And I am heavily reliant on AI tools, various tools, ChatGPT being on the top of the list. Gemini is like fantastic with code, but both of them really are bad at writing test cases. I'm going to be very honest. They are. They are. They still they fall back to their original style, and I have to like hold them and train them and train them. I'm still in the process of training, but they do reduce my work by a lot. And yes, we cannot live without them. I have a question for you. So you mentioned in your abstract that sometimes there is no UI or even a product to test. How does that change the way you approach test strategy and design?
Okay, so this isn't for everybody. In many, many cases, you will have a UI, even if it's ChatGPT. And so you're able to interface with that chatbot. And again, we're talking about agents and all of these things. But if you're really working on AI and ML algorithms and models, it's very possible that you're behind the scenes. In the past, we'd call these like APIs, right? That's the back end. You're working on a database or you're working on APIs. Well, now we're working on AI and those models. And the question is, what's different, right? How does that change things? Well, again, so many people are used to having a UI. You kind of have to take that away and say, okay, what am I actually testing? And AI is a little bit different in that the possibilities are, we've always had this like infinite input and output, but it almost feels like it's even bigger now. And I don't know how you get bigger than infinity, by the way, but we just did. And so now that we have even more inputs and outputs, how do we test that? And how do we limit our testing scope, knowing that managers, our companies are not giving us more time to test. In fact, I would argue we're even given less time now with AI to test because there's more features being developed and you have to test all of those features much faster. Okay, so how do we do that? Again, I'm going to say, come to the presentation and find out more details. But the reality is just taking off that layer and thinking about inputs and outputs in a different way and how AI thinks. And when we do that, we're able to be better testers.
Absolutely. I also kind of sort of getting this vibe from you where you're like, I'm going to catch you before you make a mistake. I'm going to tell you how to do it right. I
Yes,
think that's what you mean by
yes,
this.
yes.
You're not going to wait till the baby is born. You're going to tell them how to make the baby properly.
we're
Sorry.
gonna we're gonna go through details that you would not. Again, I have been through this, and a lot of people are just getting started in this. And so having somebody who has been through it, already made a lot of mistakes, learned a lot, and is able to share is very helpful so that you don't make the same mistakes.
That's awesome. So, in addition to giving a talk, you are also doing a workshop at this conference, and that is talking about testing AI itself. In a sense, we often think about the idea of, who tests the testers? Well, in this case, with AI being the big to do and everything, now you're talking about actually testing the LLM itself or the AI underlying it, which feels a bit inception going on
Yeah,
here.
it does. Yeah, and it gets even more inception if you take it to the AI testing the AI,
Right.
right? And so you have the tester using AI to test the AI to make sure that the feature using the AI is going out properly. Wow, yeah. I like that concept of inception. So yeah, how do we do that? What are some of the challenges that we face? And obviously, in just a couple of minutes, I can't share all of the key points or tools that you're going to use or how to use all of those tools. But once again, it is about thinking a little bit different and coming back to, I guess we could call them, first principles for sure, but also realizing that in the past, we've said 2 plus 2 on a calculator, and the only correct answer is 4. And it's a digit, and it's a 4. And if it says anything else, then you're going, hey, whoa, whoa, I've got a concern here. Like your calculator's not working. Nowadays, if I type in 2 plus, the plus sign, and then 2 and hit enter or equals and then hit enter, I could get all sorts of answers out. I could get, and you're like, whoa, what? Well, yeah, because I could get the number 4, which is a valid answer, but I could get the word for. I could get text that says the answer is 4. I could get an explanation about what 2 plus 2 means and how it comes out to 4. Well, as testers, we now have to test for all of that because those are all possible answers. And it does change. Again, it changes the way that we have to test. It's not that 2 plus 2 is suddenly 5, because it's not, but that output is a little bit different. You can't just test for the digit 4. You have to test for some other things now as well.
Well, finally, we are actually testing rather than checking. How
Yes,
does it work? How
absolutely.
does it work?
Yes.
We are focusing on like, what are all the outputs you're gonna give me? Give me. And then yeah, I'll find out if you really know your stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, like I said, I'm still very judgmental about AI. No, they don't know how to write a test case, but code, they have gotten very, very good. But even with that, gotta hold on. Sorry, I'm digressing. Back to you, Kevin. So you've worked at places like Test AI and now Family Search. How has your experience influenced your perception on using AI as a tool for testing versus testing systems powered by AI?
Yeah, so and they are two different things, and it really has changed over time. When I started actually before Test AI, but yeah, definitely at Test AI, we were just trying to create tools that would work, that used AI to do something. And it was so exciting when you got this one little tiny thing to work, and we were like, yes, you see how the AI does this, and we had to have these long explanations about how it did this really cool thing, and people were like, okay, yay, that's fantastic, good for you. But it only did this little tiny sliver of anything. And that was not using AI on a daily basis. It was building the AI that we hoped other people would use. Yeah, it's changed dramatically over time. Definitely everybody should be using AI tools now. And even if you're skeptical of it, you should still be trying it out and you should be testing it and see if it does help. And on the other side, we should also be considering, hey, should I be building a tool with AI? And how would that affect my testing? How would that affect the product? And are we giving those suggestions? Hey, we could add a little flavor of AI here that would help. Where in the past, that was crazy talk. Oh, you want to add AI? Oh, okay, let's go buy a bunch of PhDs, and put them on the assembly line. That was just, it was near impossible to do. And now we can ask ChatGPT or Claude or whatever to, hey, how could we add AI into this feature? And we can get some good feedback on that and start applying it that way as well.
That sounds excellent. Again, we oftentimes talk about PNSQC as a quality conference. Of course, we oftentimes default to testing because quality and testing seem to be synonymous, but there's more that comes into all of that. I was originally going to ask this about how testers can level up with this, but I want to broaden it a little bit. And I want to say for anybody who is a quality professional, and however you want to interpret that, that could be a developer, that could be an SDET, that could be a tester, that could be anybody that is actively involved in the quality of your product. And you want to level up in this AI-driven sphere, if you will. Where would you suggest they start? Like, are there's some skills or mindsets that are really critical to wrap your head around right now? And my guess is there's probably lots of them. But if you had to say in a 30-second elevator pitch, hey, this is important. You want to know about this. Grab this now and run. What would you suggest?
I'm sorry, but I just have to simplify things, maybe for my own mind. But the most important thing is to get started.
Mhm.
And right now, you can go get started for free. We're talking about tools that cost billions of dollars to build, and they may not be perfect. I can guarantee they're not. But you should get started. If you haven't already, by the time you hear this message coming out, you're already late. You need to jump in immediately and just try it. And you're going to say, well, I don't know how. Yes, you do. You've been sending text messages to your family, right? And your friends for years now. That's all you have to be able to do to start using ChatGPT or Copilot or Claude or whichever one you want to use. And it doesn't matter. Just pick one and get started. Ask it a simple question and then ask it another question and then ask it another. That's your number one. Get started. And then number two, I would say is still, I just have these like silly thoughts in my head of simple things that people can do. But there was a CEO, and I should give her credit, but I don't remember who it was. And she said she actually put a sticky note. Here we are in the age of AI, and she's running an AI-based company as a CEO, and she says she has a sticky note that's on her computer that says AI question mark. And what that means for her is, can AI help me with this? And it's sitting there so that every single activity that she does, she just remembers, oh yeah, let me try it with AI first, see if it helps. And if it doesn't, oh well. But if it does, you probably just saved yourself a lot of time. Why not take the risk? So get started. And then now that you've started, just ask it on every task that you're doing. Hey, AI, can you do this thing for me? And it will spit out. Again, sometimes it spits out 80 test cases, but only 5 of them are useful. Guess what? That's 5 that you don't have to think about.
Nice. That is a very good point. So, Kevin, we do realize, of course, we're doing this because we're trying to encourage people to come to the conference and participate in the event, participate in your workshops, but not everybody is going to. So if people are intrigued by this, but for whatever reason, they maybe can't participate in the conference, or they don't get a chance to be able to be in Portland for the event, or they can't do the event virtually, is there a way they can get in touch with you if they want to know more?
Absolutely. I do check my LinkedIn. I would say you could go to X or Facebook or something. I just don't check those. So LinkedIn would be the best place to get in contact with me, and I'll probably respond within, not as fast as other methods, but probably within a day or two. So check me out on LinkedIn.
Excellent. Well, all right.
Awesome, Kevin. It was so lovely chatting with you. It's been like forever talking to somebody about AI, because I use it on a daily basis, like so heavily. You have no idea. It's like having 3 assistants at the same time.
It is.
So like sometimes when I'm mad at something, I open up a new chat and I
Yes, yes.
I've also learned to process my feelings also.
Yes, we now
Yeah.
have an emotional support system as well.
Yeah,
So you can code in one window and then you can get your therapy in the other window and not take it out on your coworkers.
Well, for
yeah.
those of you, for those of you out there that are interested in this and you want to come out and participate, we absolutely encourage you. Please go to pnsqc.org, hit that register button, and come and join us. Otherwise, if these conversations that we have are the way that you get to keep in touch with us, we hope you continue to listen. So, for those of you out there who are listening, we thank you for joining us for this episode, and we definitely encourage you to stick around and join us again for a future chance to listen. Thank you very much, everybody. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.